So good morning everyone, it's Mrs Williams here again, Monday morning assembly time. I hope you're all well and I hope you're all looking after yourselves and keeping safe. I think time's passing quite quickly, I don't know about you, but these Mondays seem to come round very, very quickly, and I look forward to being in school again. Seeing some of our key worker children, seeing some of the staff, and having a chance to, even if it's only remotely, chat to you and do an assembly for you. And I know lots of you are liking the assemblies. In fact, some people are learning it off by heart, I believe. So well done to those children who are doing that. But our story again this morning is all around our theme. So our theme at the moment, if you can remember, whatever it is you practice gets stronger. So we need to practice peace, we need to practice love, and we need to practice kindness every day. And actually, in society at the moment, there's an awful lot of kindness being shown to people. People are being very polite to each other and talking to each other and being more neighbourly than they've ever been before. So if anything good is coming out of this crisis at the moment, it is that kindness seems to be developing and getting better and getting bigger. So I think that's a really good thing, and hopefully that will last afterwards. But our story this morning is something that you might relate to. It's about two ladies, two people that live on a street, and actually very rarely have spent any time talking to each other. But something happens that brings them together and helps each other grow and show kindness towards each other. So here's the story for today. Two ladies live one at each side of a long street of houses. They're both widows and they both live on their own. Their children have grown up and gone off to live in houses of their own. So in lots of ways, the two ladies are very much alike, but they're not alike in everything. One of them lives in a house with a garden full of flowers, and the other, well, she lives in a house with no garden at all. And the two ladies, well, they don't actually know each other very well. They know each other's names and they might say good morning or good afternoon to each other when they meet, but somehow they've never managed to get to know each other better than that, probably because they were on different sides of the road. Well, one day, the lady in the house without a garden became ill. She woke up in the morning with a headache and with aches and pains in her arms and her legs as well. Oh dear, she thought as she woke up. I was going to do so many things today. There's the washing to do and some shopping to get, but I'm not feeling well enough to do any of those jobs. I think I'm going to have to stay in bed this morning. So that's just what she did. She didn't get out of bed at all. She didn't bring in the milk from her doorstep. She didn't collect the newspaper from the letterbox where it was sitting, half in and half out of her house. She didn't even open any of her curtains. By lunchtime, the other lady living opposite had noticed that the milk on the step was still there. The newspaper was still in the letterbox and the closed curtains, and she wondered if the owner of the house was all right. She didn't want to make a fuss though, so she didn't do anything about it. The next day, the lady who was feeling poorly felt even worse. She hadn't had anything to eat now for a whole day, and when she tried to get out of bed, she started to feel wobbly and sick and dizzy. She fell back into her bed again, feeling quite frightened. What should she do? She couldn't get up to her telephone for the doctor or go round and ask her next door neighbour to help him. She felt so frightened because she was on her own and there was no one to help her, and she started to cry. Well, the lady living opposite looked across the street again that morning. This time she noticed that the old lady's house were 2 bottles of milk on the doorstep, and there were 2 newspapers sticking out of the letterbox, and still no curtains were opened. Now she felt sure that something was wrong. She telephoned the police to explain that she thought something might be wrong with the old lady. The police came quickly and they sent for an ambulance. The old lady was taken to hospital, and while she was in the hospital, the other lady wondered what she could do to help. But she couldn't think of anything except going to the hospital to visit. So she picked some flowers from her garden and set off to catch the bus to visit the other lady. "Hello," she said when she walked into the ward. "I'm really sorry to hear that you're poorly. I brought you some flowers from my garden to cheer you up." "Oh, thank you," said the old lady. "You've always had such lovely flowers in your garden. I wish I had a garden to grow some flowers in." And in that moment, the lady from the house opposite knew exactly what she could do to help. In a few days' time, when the old lady came out of hospital and went home again, her new friend from across the road called in with a bunch of flowers to welcome her home. And from that day on, the friendship grew. And the lady with the garden full of flowers shared them with the lady who had no garden to grow them in. Just sharing something simple, sharing some flowers, sharing your time, sharing your thoughts, sharing your words, sharing your kindness. It just makes sometimes it just makes somebody else feel a little bit better. So what I'd like you to do today is think about all the things that you are doing at the moment, all the ways you are helping people to be kind to each other, all the things you're doing personally. And I wonder, have any of you actually written down some kindness challenges? And I would love you to share them with me if you have. But remember, if you don't practice these things, the art and the skill of being kind, being peaceful, being loving, you're just not using that skill, and it will deteriorate. So we have to practice these skills, and sometimes we have to practice them purposefully. We have to think about it very carefully. So right now, what you're going to do, go and think of something right now that you could go and do that would just show kindness. Go and give your mum a hug. Go and say hi to the lady over the fence next door. Just think of something kind. Even write me a comment on the blog. I'd really appreciate that. So, are we ready to go off into society and practice that kindness? Are we ready to go and be the St. Peter's people that we need to be? And are we ready to go and learn, sparkle and shine? I'm sure you are. Have a lovely week, everybody. Keep checking the blogs. The teachers are putting lots and lots and lots of videos and activities on there that you can do, certainly down at Key Stage 1. And the older ones of year 3, 4, 5 and 6, you've got more independent tasks that you can be doing, but they're on your blog too. So speak to you soon. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to send in your Super Learner nominations, and I'll see you next Monday.